Salute and thank you, NERDSoul. Yeah. Lay ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and NERDSoul. Man, look, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, let's go. If you're brand new, what's up? If you're brand old, what's up too? Because guess what? We talking about Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. That's right, them rings, and we getting into it. But we not by ourselves. I have a consummate expert on the whole tokenness that's going down. Hopefully, because I got questions. So I give to you Solar Gray, the cinematic sorcerer. What's up?
What's going on, man? This is Solar Gray, the cinematic sorcerer, coming at you from the Wizard's Tower. Happy to be here as the Tolkien scholar for my boy NERDSoul.
Because sometimes, like, I messaged Solar. I was like, "Yo, man, I kind of wish we could watch this together. Like, maybe stream it, do a watch along, and I could just like pause and be like, okay, hold on. So, what does this mean?
I mean, I'm down. I'm down. You just gotta let me know."
So, since we're 4 episodes in the can, guys, so we're not going to do every single episode. We'll do week to week, start next episode, but now we're just going to talk about the show being back, some things that stood out to us and all that good stuff. So I'm going to give it to Solar first. The show is back. You've seen 4 episodes, not 14. How are you feeling?
You want me to be honest with you?
Okay. Yeah. Break it down for me.
I think season 2 is already better than season 1.
Okay.
I seriously do.
Okay. I get you. I do not disagree.
Because, I'm just, looking at the great big drop that they did of episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Since the first season was mostly character introduction, and not an introduction to the world of Tolkien, but an introduction to their interpretation of the world of Tolkien, as in, we're not Weta, but we're trying. The culture shock is done, and now we know what world that we're in, and they just got to it.
Okay, now I will give the show a little bit of this. I know they weren't Weta, but sometimes I feel that those movies were a little too polished. But I might be in the minority on that one. I kind of like the little more grittiness of the orcs here. But go and finish your point. Go on, let me know how you feel about these first 4.
Well, honestly, like I said, I am actually more invested in season 2 than I was in season 1. They haven't really introduced a lot of new characters, but they just kind of went, all right, so now y'all know where we're about. Let's get to it real quick. Got to give major props to the actor who plays, Sauron. Cause I'm like, oh, look at this. He's Viggo Mortensen light, or light. They're like, yeah, we need a Viggo Mortensen type in part 1. And I think that's the big thing. The first season, I went in with Generation X levels of cynicism. And this one I just watched.
See, for me in season 1, I just watched because even though I like Lord of the Rings generally, I don't really know any more than what the movies have told me. Like, so if it's not in Lord of the Rings or in The Hobbit, and I haven't forgotten it, then that's all I know. Like, so that's it. So when Rings of Power came out, I was like, cool, more stuff. Like, that was pretty much where I was at. And I was like, all right, it looks great, cool. But then the thing that was kind of, I don't know, kind of bothering me is that it seemed slower than I thought it should have been for an 8 episode season. I felt like we were going very slow. But here I do not feel that way. Like season 2, it kind of does seem like, okay, guys, took your medicine. All right, now it's cake time. So is because they have kind of been off to the races since the beginning, since the first episode. We're, high drama. There's, high stakes. Lines are starting to get drawn. No matter what, I mean, from from things like when we first come in and get the whole prequel from the sort of like the prequel with Sauron. I thought
Mm-hmm.
that was awesome because at first I was like, "Huh, what's going on?" Then I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Okay, this is great," especially for someone like me because I don't know. So I was like, "Okay, this was great." All right, so that sets up a sort of like a deeper beef with Sauron and Adar. So I'm
Yeah.
like, "Cool." I'm like, "All right, great." That so it's like we're getting a little more, I guess, a little more character work, but we're kind of like walking and talking now. Um, all of our characters are kind of on the move. Pieces are starting to get into place, and I dig it. So since we kind of got it out of the way, I'm gonna go in and throw it. I'm gonna go. We'll touch on some moments here. All right. So a moment for me. All right. I know I've said this over and over, but to my little people out there, all right, my halflings. All right, look, halflings, I'm gonna need y'all. Y'all gonna have to train up, man. I'm tired of seeing y'all get picked on. Look, y'all gotta, sharpen some rocks and learn some hand to hand. I know you're smaller, but that don't mean y'all defenseless. Come on, man. I need y'all to look at what the Ewoks could do. All right. I just want y'all. I don't want people just coming up in y'all camp slapping y'all around. I don't like it. All right. I don't like it. I want y'all to get together and start training yourselves. All right. Do some squats, do some push-ups, you know what I'm saying? Fashion some like in Predator, fashion some little traps and stuff and things like come on, man. Like I just I don't want to see y'all getting kicked around no more. All right. I don't like it. Maybe it's just me, but
Um,
I just don't like it.
you realize there were really, actually, 5 of the 6 hobbits that knew how to fight, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we're only seeing the halflings that ain't got no skills. The rest of them are nice.
No, no, no. What I'm saying is, there's only 6 of them in all of the lore that got it nice like that. 6 of
Oh,
the
you mean
whole
six
species.
singular? Oh, you mean 6 people?
Yes,
Oh,
6
I'm thinking like
hobbits.
I thought you meant like 6 tribes. Like
No,
like we looking at the
6.
Harfoot, they can't fight, but the other ones can or something.
No, 6
Oh
hobbits.
man, see, man.
Let us name them, shall we? Um, at the let's rank them lowest to highest. Lowest, Frodo Baggins.
Okay, Frodo did have
Uh,
a little something. He had moxie. I don't know if I can say he could really
no, he had
fight, but
armor. Um, you know. Next, Peregrine Took.
okay.
Next, Mariatic Brandybuck. Actually,
All right,
sorry.
okay.
Above Peregrine Took, Bilbo Baggins.
Okay, you know what? Bilbo did have a little something. He did have some scuffle in him. So okay, all right.
Then Mariatic Brandybuck. And at the very top of the ones, Samwise Gamgee.
You know what? Sandwise, he's another one that he had some moxie. He had a little scuffle about him. He didn't give up. He tussled a bit with Smeagol. Yeah. So okay, all right. There's a couple, but
And Shelob.
I need like a like okay, you see the hard feet or whatever, you got the ones that be farming and ones go fishing, and so I need some that got like some spears, all right, some spears and some, so when someone come up, they could be like, hold up, don't just think you're gonna roll
Yeah,
up in our
no,
village like that.
that wasn't how they rolled, bro. They walked around forever. They found somewhere to be. They got there, and then they said, "Okay, cool, we home." That's it.
But don't they know they got to defend their home every now and then?
Don't. Their superpower is hiding. Okay, you ain't got to get into a fight if you're invisible.
Oh boy, man, I guess so.
And by
It
the
just
way,
hurt,
number
man. When he rolled
6.
up and smacked Shorty and just like nobody did nothing, I was like, man,
Yeah.
like come
And
on,
by the way,
man.
number 6 you haven't met. That is Bull Roarer Took. That
All right,
is Mary, Frodo's, and Bilbo. Well, that's Bilbo's great great granduncle.
Dang. Okay.
Okay. Boror was a menace. He was the one that you want. But that's it.
Okay.
That's literally it. That I have named all of the fighters in the species.
Dang.
Because you saw they walk.
Does it bother
They
you,
walk.
or is it just me? Because I watch it. I watch it every time I see them. They just getting kicked around. It's like,
Yeah,
just, I don't like seeing people get bullied, man. So it just,
I get
I
that.
just
But
want to see them shine.
and you know what? The 4 that you see regularly, they did shine. And
For on their own.
you know, and the thing was, and this is what the movies left out. I know your other ringers out there are like, when are they going to talk about? We're about to talk about it for a hot minute. You didn't read the books, all right?
Nah, I haven't read
But in the books,
any like books or extra stuff.
yeah, in the Return of the King, when they got home to the Shire, it wasn't good. It was not good at all because Sauron had actually taken over and led people there, and they were doing some things. You know, they pretty much showed up and slaved the hobbits, took over the town, and our 4 Knights of the Realm were like, nah.
Whoa. Why
Nah,
was that not in the movie?
Huh?
Oh, well, I guess that's not a happy.
Yeah,
not a happy ending.
It was a bittersweet ending in the book, but that whole vision that Frodo saw when he looked in Galadriel's mirror, that was what they got home to.
Oh.
And so they had to rally Hobbiton and the Shire to an army to finally kill Sauron and Wormtongue.
Okay, so
and the band of thieves that they... Huh?
So they switched that part up for the movie, I guess.
It was called The Scouring of the Shire.
Wow. Okay. Dang. Well, I guess I can see, because from a theatrical perspective, that whole thing, I'm pretty sure, adds another 45 minutes to an already like 10-hour movie. Okay, it's not that long, but
it feels like it.
That you know, that could easily add another 30-45 minutes to a film.
Yeah,
So-
3.5 hour film. So that would have made it 4 hours, which means they would have had to pull a Harry Potter and do Return of the King Part 1 and Part 2. And the thing about the Scouring of the Shire is that it happened after the king returned.
So you can't even really do a part 3. You got, you can't even do like a 4th movie. You have to do, maybe, especially at that time, since there wasn't streaming. It's not like you could be like, oh, well, in between these movies, you can check out this short film or something.
Right. You know, not to mention, it ruins the happy ending.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't.
Because it's like, yeah, the hobbits did. Frodo's alive. Look at this one false ending, this second false ending, this third false ending, this 5th false ending. Where's Sam? Where's? Oh, there he is. All right, cool. Oh, look, the coronation. That's great. Okay, the movie's over. Okay, no, they're going back to the shop. Okay, well, okay, no, they're going off to the boats. So put 30 more minutes on how exhausted the viewer is after watching
like 4 fake endings.
4 fake endings, the I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you story arc, followed by the army war scene to end all army war scenes.
Yeah, good point.
But yeah, so I'm sorry, man. Hobbits did not get down like that until after the books, after the Return of the King. And that was primarily because of Merry, Sam, Frodo, and Pippin.
Okay.
Before that, they were just like, we cool. Like, they were your great uncle if they didn't need guns. That's what the hobbits are. They got their little piece of land, they farm their land, they kick it with their family, they read their books, they eat their food, go to bed, wash and repeat.
I mean, honestly, life. It sounds like a good life. It's just, every now and then,
ain't that the dream?
Bandits roll up and,
But yeah, now imagine if bandits couldn't find you. Like if bandits just rolled past because they didn't even know you was there.
All right, I
That's the
got you. I
Hobbit
got you.
life.
All right. So, what's something that in these 4 episodes that stood out to you that you want to drop knowledge on?
Um, Celebrimbor. Okay. Um, one of the unsung elves for a lot of the people that have only seen the movies. All right. So Celebrimbor is the dude that actually made the ring. And I want to really focus on the first 3 episodes because it's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Because how can I put it? I never thought that Elrond would turn into your black friend.
Yo, Elrond, but like when we were talking about the first season, when we were working that out and talking that and watching everything, I was like, yo, what happened to Elrond? Because he was cool when he was young.
Yeah, season 1 happened to Elrond. That's what happened. Because
he's definitely in this season. He's much more bristly, but understandably so, though.
Oh yeah,
imagine being right and like no one's listening to you, like no one. And you're like,
and the fact that
man,
you're being
no
right about the end of the world.
Yeah,
that's big. You know, when you going, nah, man, that'll get you 5 to 10. Like, come on, man, we just gonna go to the club. Nah. Wait, who going? Yeah, who gonna be there? Oh, Galadriel's gonna be there? I ain't going. What you talking? Because every time we go out with her, some mess starts.
And it's like she can't let things go. And I mean, it's weird because this is sort of all her fault. I mean, to a certain degree. I mean, all right, somebody could make the argument that even if she went to Valar, that Sauron would have found his way to do what he's doing right now some other way. So, I mean, I guess that argument could be made because he is he's like essentially like a demon or a devil or something. He's going to be tricky and crafty and serpent-like and stuff like that. So there is that argument to be made. But I mean, it does not help that like she rolled the red carpet out for him. Like she just walked him right in. She just walked him right into Celebrimbor. And now that he's back, just the way he's amazing when it comes to the manipulation of Celebrimbor, and then like pushing him to be like, oh well, this is my idea. Because Celebrimbor, at first he was following the rules. He was like, look, nope, I don't want to speak to him. I don't want to talk to him. And Sauron's like, look, I got time. I'm gonna be patient. And he waited, and then he's like, oh
yeah, he pulled a Stephen Strange or a kung fu movie thing, just sitting outside the master's house, and it starts raining. It's like, no, you will train me in kung fu.
I mean, Celebrimbor, he played on a justified emotion. But it's like, hey, man, so they just took whatever you made and like they haven't even said thank you, no nothing. They just whatever. You're not even important, even though technically they did. But of course, he had. Well, I don't know. He killed the messenger. I don't know if he killed the messenger or Adar did. Like, is this something? Did Adar kill the messengers?
You know,
because the orcs aren't working for Sauron right now, right?
Yeah.
So maybe this is just something that happened that helped him out that he didn't even plan.
So this is where this conversation becomes difficult.
Okay.
Because I know the lore and you don't know the lore, and the show leaves a lot of things to interpretation.
Okay.
See, for those of you guys back there, they may have called him the bringer of gifts, okay? Or the Lord of Gifts, and we'll get to that. And not the Lord of, moving images made on a Windows machine. But the Lord of Gifts. Sauron's big thing, okay? He's got 4 major powers. But his biggest major power, okay, his flavor of the amount of power that he has is manipulation. Okay, he is a player. And that being the case,
extremely good at it.
Yeah. So we know that the messengers are dead and the orcs killed the messenger. Now, it's possible that Attar found the messengers and killed them. It's also possible that Sauron manipulated the messengers to be somewhere that Attar's orcs would have found them.
Yeah, because it kind of, because I was watching that scene and I was like, well, he knows that the message isn't getting to them. So he has to know that they were killed, but the orcs killed him, and the orcs don't like him, and actually they don't even believe that he's alive. So what, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is he sure that that happened?
You know,
so that's one of the moments that I would have definitely paused it and asked you. I'm like, hold on, how does he know for sure that message isn't getting there?
Because
he
came across the bodies.
He did not know.
Now, he came across the bodies. Okay. And again, I wanted to talk about Celebrimbor because we didn't really talk about him in season 1. Yeah, and a lot of folks don't know who he is. And I'm like, okay, all right. To put it down, everybody knows that the elves make cool stuff. You know, the rope they gave Sam, the bow for Legolas, them knives, all that other stuff.
Like, everything they build is like the high society stuff. It's all the good stuff.
All master crafted, yeah. And Celebrimbor is the top dude. Okay, he is the Carol Shelby of the elves.
Okay.
All right. He is all at once the Carol Shelby, the Nikola Tesla, and like if Celebrimbor existed today, Elon Musk would take his stuff and take credit.
I see you.
You know. So that's a real big thing about it. That's why Sauron was able to play to that ego. Because he's like, everybody knows you're the best of the best. When we got to talk to Círdan, the shipwright, and Elrond was like, so yeah, what's in these bags? And Círdan's like, I don't even need to look, bro. I've seen his work before. You know, who do you think designed my outboard motors? I know what this dude can do.
He's like, this guy is the best.
Yeah. He is literally the best that there is at what he does. You know, he was the dude that gave them the knowledge and the technology to create NERDSoul, the sword that cut Sauron's fingers off in the first war. You know, it was him. I mean, we're watching the creation of the Rings of Power and what they do.
Yeah, because now, when this show, at the end of season 1, we just had the elves rings. And I don't think, we just had the elves rings at the end of first season.
Yeah.
And now we're getting into the kind of, I guess you could say, the corruption of Celebrimbor, and seeing how natural, Halbrand comes off to him. And aka Sauron comes off to him. You're like, it makes sense that Celebrimbor would feel this way, because it's not an overt manipulation. It's I will give Sauron this. He's very subtle in these scenes, but I guess he has to tiptoe because he doesn't have the orcs with him right now.
Go on.
The way Celebrimbor receives Sauron, because he calls himself Anatar. So he calls himself Anatar, but it's interesting to me because, all right, so Celebrimbor is mad old because elves be living like forever, right? So he's mad old. Anatar, I assume, has never been heard of before, but Celebrimbor is already at a point right now where he doesn't really even question like, and it's hard. Always just like, okay, cool. You're like some celestial kind of dude. All right, sure, yeah. And I'm just gonna lie to the High King. I'm just like, dang. I mean, I knew he kind of had you mad at the king, but I didn't know he had you this far.
All right, hold up. Let's be real. Let's be real. He didn't just say, "Oh, by the way." I mean, he put on a show.
Yeah, he did. He turned. He straight appeared out of fire. There was like,
Turned the
a
lights
visage.
out, did the
Yeah, there was like a
disembodied
visage of
voice.
clouds behind him and stuff, dude. Like,
And the
so
thing
okay,
is, he told
good
him the
example.
truth, you know. And see, the truth is tamper resistant. You can't mess with the truth. Um, he is a messenger from the gods. He is of
Yeah,
that power level,
yeah,
you
true.
know.
He
Now,
left out key details.
yeah, like which one of the Valar that he worked for, you know, because if he had said Morgoth or Melkor, it would have been so different. But he just let Celebrimbor assume it was Manwë or Irrite or, you know. I mean, he made it very clear he's not on the same level as Manwë or Irrite or, and definitely not of Iluvatar, who is God. But he pretty much
I'm a
said, "Look,
sharer of
man."
gifts. Yeah.
He's like, "Man, I'm I'm a lesser angel. Like that's my whole deal is to show up places and give people cool stuff."
Mhm.
It's like, no, we're partners, man. I'm gonna guide you through making your best invention, and that's the whole thing, you know. Because yeah, that ring you made, the rings that you made, they worked, bruh. They worked, and they saved your people, and that was a really big thing,
Yeah,
you know.
because it did. I mean, they were on the brink. I mean, they were getting ready to leave. I mean, the High King was singing the song and everything.
Uh-huh.
And then when that tree came back, I mean, at least Elrond was like, "Hey, man, look, I know the tree is back, but if this is born from these rings that are made, or at least under the
Influence, yeah.
supervision or influence of the guy who's like the next to the demon guy, shouldn't we question it? And shouldn't we be wary of using these things just a little bit?"
Yeah, I mean, he straight up said, we don't know if Sauron touched them. If he touched them, then they're messed up. We can't do it. You know, were you watching? No, you wasn't watching, so you don't know.
Like, you
You
don't
know?
know. I don't know. Only person that knows is Celebrimbor.
So guess what? I ain't playing that game. You know, yeah, I ain't playing. You
It's
know,
just, it's sad that we're here. It's great for TV, but it's just sad that we're here because, you know, the word getting to Celebrimbor could have changed everything.
yes,
But, now we have so much going on with the rings because now, of course, the Forge is going on. Celebrimbor's already lied about the Forge going on. So them inviting the dwarves and even getting that process started, this is gonna change the game.
right.
And I mean, we have seen kind of where it goes because we've seen The Hobbit and we've seen Lord of the Rings, but it's just you're seeing this stuff and you're like, no, like don't do it. It's like don't trust them. But I'll throw one moment that I thought was cool because I got to give it to him. That's right, Arondir. Oh yeah, yo, when he came back, yo, Arondir was looking dope, man. He did the cool flip, shooting people. That's what I was waiting for. I was like, yo, he done came back, did a cool flip, jumping around, kicking people. He even sliced the dude with an arrow, then used that same arrow to shoot another guy. Like, come on, man. It's like, come on. Like, this is what we waiting for. I mean, you can't beat this guy. And look, Aaron Deere is so cool. He even smooth talked a tree, man. Come on. How many y'all can rub down a tree? He rubbed that bark. He was like, come on, girl. We ain't gonna hurt no more forests. She was like, "You not?" He was like, "Nah, boo, I got you." And then she gave him a flower from herself. Come on, man. Look, Arondir is back, y'all.
You know,
Like,
the other
everybody
person that sweet
rejoice.
talked to Tree was Treebeard. I'm just saying.
Oh man. Like it was good to get some action in. It really was. And to also see where um Isildur is, where I can't remember Theo, where Theo is, especially now that his mom is gone, and what that's going to mean for the world of men right now, and what
Mm-hmm.
what it means for Numenor, because the queen, I guess isn't the queen, you know. I don't, break it down for me what the eagle means, because I'm assuming the
All
eagle.
right.
I guess
So,
the eagle selects who the next ruler is going to be.
no. All right. So, this comes down to the celestial hierarchy.
Okay.
Okay. So, you know how I keep talking about how powerful the wizards are because they are angels?
Hmm.
All right. And Sauron is an angel.
Okay.
All right. So, in a nutshell, the wizards were created by one particular of the Valar. I forget which. Part of me wants to say Manwë, but he's just my favorite. But no, I think Manwë created the dwarves as well. Okay, but they are his messengers. That's what they do.
Okay.
All right. And um, but here's the thing. They are disembodied forms and all that stuff. So just under them are things that are seriously, they have the potential of getting to the same place, but the middle of the wizards is like the peak of the next level, the peak of the next level down, such as Balrogs and dragons.
Okay.
Okay. So you with me so far?
All right. So
And when
it's
I
like
say
it's like
Balrogs and dragons, keep in mind that Smaug is the runt of the litter.
okay. Yeah. I remember you telling
All
me
right.
about that one.
So the Eagles are the same rank and power.
Okay.
So one of the Eagles showing up is pretty much like a dragon showing by, except the Eagles are good, the dragons are bad.
Mm.
All right. So an eagle showing up to your coronation is literally like a dragon showing up going, yo, he cool.
All right. So since it showed up, and I cannot remember the queen's name. It's something with an M. I can't
Yeah.
remember her name right now. But since the eagle showed up, was the eagle showing up for her, and then they kind of just made it about the other dude? Or
Yes.
okay, because
Yes.
I was like, what's his name? Someone that
You're looking
it's
at divine providence.
Farazan.
Yeah.
Like they kind of made it about him, but I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't think it's for him.
You're looking at divine providence versus human will.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Now, Farazan is a politician. And politicians, they have one superpower. The thing that makes a politician. They talk. For good or ill. It's like saying, hammers. A hammer's a hammer. You can use it to build stuff. You can use it to break stuff. Politicians talk. And they can convince people for good, convince people for bad, but they can convince people.
Yeah. So all right. So because it didn't really, no one even questioned it. They were just like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's all Farazan. I was like, the
Mob
eagle
mentality is
didn't
mob
really
mentality.
the eagle didn't really specifically, like, I guess specifically choose him. I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, y'all go off.
Yeah, and keep in mind, all of that came down. This is a great example of what's the term I'm looking for? sectional timing. Okay, because it wasn't just the eagle showing up late, and it wasn't just the people going fair is on, all that stuff. It was the fact that Farazan had been working on people. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two. Okay. Good old shipwright girl had already shown the Palantir. You know, so when Mama was getting the queen, and it was like, anybody got something to say? And it's like, I got something to say. She's been using this old elven demonic artifact. Yeah, she ain't doing that. And what about my man? You know? And Farazan, and Farazan was like, okay, now I got an opportunity. Mwah ha 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 ha.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to figure out when I remember she had access to the room. She went in the room and looked at it, but how would she even know to how
they showed that she was talking to her dad and all that stuff, and it was like, yeah, in a cutscene I saw her go into a secret compartment, and I went into that secret compartment and I found the cell phone. You know, and she's like, look at these DMs
at the right time.
And that's the whole point. You know, so it was the political machinations that was going on when Farazan was like, so you gonna wear red or white? Just asking, because I think you look good in red. You know, red. And she's like, well, my daddy wore white and he was a good king, so I'm gonna be wearing white. You know.
And then he was like, perfect.
He's like, yeah, white works, you know. In other words, are you going to fall in line, or are we going for a plan B? She's like, I'm going to wear white. He's like, plan B. Okay.
Homie straight up was ready with the sword and everything, holding it all high like he was that dude.
Again, politician.
Sad, man. Sad. Numenor is doomed.
Yeah, actually it is.
Man, we can't have nothing in these streets.
Well, the thing about people, and this is why Elrond was so salty by the Lord of the Rings. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Elrond saw humans at their peak, and he watched them fall. You know, Isildur was literally mankind's last hope. Literally mankind's last hope. And he messed up at Mount Doom.
He was so close. And it wasn't really his fault that he messed up.
Nope, even Frodo failed. Because the ring is that strong. You know?
Man. It's like we just can't win, man.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And Elrond's
just can't have anything in these streets.
Yeah, and Elrond's like, look, man, we were good. You know, we were good. We didn't mess up the world. And I was actually kind of waiting for Gandalf to say, now hold on. Hold on about not messing up the world, because didn't y'all invent murder? I'm just saying. You know.
Well, also, we have speaking of Gandalf, once again, just so I can check. So the stranger is definitely Gandalf, right? Like I feel like we handled this, but then I feel like we didn't handle it when I watch it this season. I'm like, is he Gandalf or not? Because I'm pretty sure he's Gandalf, but I want to make sure he's Gandalf.
It's interesting because Gandalf is confirmed to have had a past with the hobbits, but the hobbits that knew a wizard, they called that wizard the stranger. That's all. That's it. Okay. Now, Gandalf had been around hobbits for a while. He knew Belladonna took, which is why he called for Bilbo at the beginning of The Hobbit. He's like, nah, I knew your grandma, bro. You got a little fire in you, you know. But There is a debate to be made that it could be Saruman. It could be,
Okay.
because Saruman wasn't always bad.
So
But since this is a TV show, you can pretty much bank on it being Gandalf.
yeah.
Because
So
that's who people know. That's who people love,
speaking of wizards, all right. So the dark wizards that are coming after the Stranger,
Sorcerers. Yeah.
or sorcerers, like who do they have an allegiance to, or are they just kind of on their own? Because it
So
doesn't seem like they're really working for anyone.
they're not. But the thing is, and this is really important, Sauron didn't 100% take good people and make them bad. He did that to the elves. That's how we got orcs. Or Morgoth did that to the elves. That's how we got orcs. Okay?
All right.
But people run the gambit. Good, bad, in between. People is people. And the biggest thing about Lord of the Rings, the biggest theme is that the desire for power is the biggest corrupting force.
Okay.
Okay, that's the whole motif, the entire motif of the Lord of the Rings. This is why the hobbits can carry the ring, because they are satisfied. Again, farm their land, drink their beer, eat their 5 meals a day, wash and repeat.
The 5 meals, though.
Huh?
I said the 5 meals, though.
Hey, breakfast, second breakfast, brunch, 11sies, lunch and dinner. Sorry. Oh,
When
and
he said
supper.
second
7
breakfast,
meals.
I was like, hold on, what?
Yeah. So 7 meals a day, farming the land, drinking beer. It's just small town country living. Straight up. Where men, they want power, they want more land, they want clout, and the willingness to perform means to get this stuff is it comes from the biggest corrupting force.
All right. Okay.
Now the one that we met looks like the Witch King of Agmar.
Yeah. Okay. So that's another thing that I wanted to know about. So, okay, these witches or sorcerers or wizards, whatever, they seem to have their own kind of faction or whatever.
Yeah.
So, who are the Skull Mask men? And when he said, like, if we show our real face or something like that.
Oh,
so
those could be the Easterlings or the Heraldrim. Okay. Think back to Return of the King. There were the ones on elephants and the ones in boats.
Oh, okay. Those guys.
Where Faramir is like, this young man is probably just fighting for home. Just like I am.
All right, okay. So, I guess my next question based on that is, why does it even matter to them to get to Gandalf or the Stranger? Because they seem super hard pressed, but like, why do they care? They seem to kind of be off on their own, doing their own thing. So why does it matter if they have Gandalf or not?
If you were looking to get more powerful, okay, and you just found that there was a wandering angel out there who didn't know who he was, what would you think?
Oh, if I could get him on my side, then that'll be my weapon.
And if I can't get him on my side,
I gotta take him out.
There's the answer.
All right, cool. I got you. Because it seemed like they were out by themselves. I'm like, why do y'all even care about sort of like the issues of the day? Like, it doesn't seem like y'all are even involved in the world at all. But okay. All right, I got you on that. So, um, I, I
Especially if he's only walking with a couple of halflings. Bruh,
yeah, yeah.
we can punt those guys.
Oh, that's cool. Ah, poor halflings, man. All right, so I wanna I want to talk about something that I thought was really nice in these episodes, which was between everything that's going down at Casa Doom. Basically, you
Mm-hmm.
got what is it? You got like no light. There's hunger. You got during the I guess the third and the fourth, and then you have Disa and the the drama around being able to say you're sorry. Like
Yeah.
the, that is something that I think we could all learn from. The Sometimes you just need to say you're sorry. And like he said, he was right. And even Disa was like, I know you were right, but right now you're being wrong. And I see what she was saying because even in his apology, he's like, I was disrespectful. Like, even, because my sort of, I guess the pride or the arrogance in my rightness pushed me to be disrespectful. And I shouldn't have been disrespectful, regardless of whether I was right or not. I shouldn't have addressed you the way I did. You know what I'm saying? And that's because a lot of people, when you say, hey, what part did you play? Well, I didn't play anything because I was right. And it's like, no, 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 no. Just because you were right doesn't mean that you should have spoken to that person that way. You know what I'm saying? So I like the fact that he was able to be like, hey, look, I'm as stubborn as you are, and this, that, and the third, but I disrespected you, and that was wrong. I like that. I I thought that was dope. Like I I like that part of the show. I thought it was nice.
I don't only like that part of the show. I like the fact that it was his wife that pointed that out. I'm like, all right, I ain't gonna lie. Everybody who knows me knows I'm divorced. And real talk though, my marriage goals are Gomez and Morticia. All right. That's
Shouts to
that,
Gomez and Morticia.
that's those are my marriage goals. If I get married again, that's what I ultimately want it to be. But um you're gonna have to let me cook on what I'm about to say, okay?
All right, go ahead.
All Jonathan Majors had to do was watch this show.
Wow. Okay, okay. Break that one down.
Because this whole thing went down. Well, like, what kind of woman would you like for a wife? And he's like, Coretta Scott King. And I'm like, all you had to do was watch Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, bruh. Because Issa is the wife that every man needs and very few men deserve.
Right. She came through.
In multiple ways. They're sitting up at the market and he's like, I want to get this expensive thing. She's like, you got that expensive thing money? It's like, yeah, nah, I ain't gonna make our kids starve because you want a fancy steak. You getting chicken. And then he's like, you married a prince. You ended up with an exile. She's like, I ended up with the man that I fell in love with. Now shut your mouth and let's finish shopping. I'm like, bruh.
Yo, man, look, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, there's been many times when I felt down. Look, a good woman will see you when you're down and not kick you. A good woman will see you when you were down and console you and pick you back up. Yep. Dust off your shirt and everything, and go in and push you back out so you can do your thing.
And willing to slap you on the back of the neck when you're being stupid.
Well, yeah, that too.
And by the way, all the shout outs to Lady Lisa. Don't think I don't see you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for being there for my boy.
Many times when I look at Lisa, I'll be like, Lisa, let me know. Am I tripping? And she'll be like,
she'll be like, yeah.
Far. She'll be like, you going too far. Or she'll be like, nah, you right. So she'll let me know. She'll be like, nah, you going too far. Or like ease up, back up, Or sometimes she'll just be like, just wait, just let this play out. See, just wait a second. because
Yeah.
sometimes we get mad or angry or whatever. We're like, let's go, and then we need that person to be like, oh, I know why you're mad, but hold on, let's see what happens real quick.
Yeah. You
So
know,
so
the magic phrase
Disa
of
is
now
awesome.
is not the time.
Yeah.
You know,
So yeah, Disa is awesome, man. I like that, and I like the fact that he came to him and he apologized, and now I will say this. Come on, Dad. Look, he came up there. He apologized. I did expect more from you. I know y'all are dwarves, but I expected a hug. I look. Come on now. Come on, Dad. Dad, he did his part. Now it's your part. I'm going to give your son a hug. Let your son know you love him. All
Yeah.
right. He did his part. Because apologies, I have two. Look, there's two people that need to do their part. Like one person needs to come to that one and be like, "Look, man, I was wrong." The other person needs to be like, "Ah, you my dog."
you know, and again, like, again, I love her character because, you know, I mean, she's a politician as well because she knows when to turn on, look, I'm the head of the rock singers, and when to turn on, oh, so you want to know about your grandkids, you know?
She was like, "Is that all you want to know about?"
Mm-hmm. You know, I'm like, man, this woman is fierce. I love her. I love every bit about her.
Because
She's like,
she was
look, we
willing to
got to
go
worry
both of them
about
and be
the
like,
kingdom.
look, we got something more important. Because she said, look, y'all will let this whole rock wither into nothing before y'all apologize. Like, you got to stop this mess.
There's a whole lot of people depending on what y'all do next than you.
Yeah, you have like a whole village or whatever city, like, come on, man. Y'all gotta let this go. You don't want the headstones of all the citizens that die under your care to say, "Yo, at least he didn't give in to his son." Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I think that's something that we all kind of learn as we grow older. Being right matters, but it has to be prioritized.
Well, one of
Like,
my former therapists asked me two questions,
mhm.
which is more important, being right or being happy? And the second question was, which was more important, being right or being effective?
Mm,
And
yeah,
that sticks with me.
because
Yeah.
in all honesty, whatever relationship it is, that other person knows you were right, but they probably have the same amount of pride that you have, and them relenting. It's for some reason it's the world for them, just like it was the world for you. So just let it go. You knew you were right. They know you were right. Just let it go, so y'all can both move on. And don't hold it over their head neither. Like, oh, remember when I was right back in '92? Like, just like,
You
just
can
let it
hold it
go.
over their head when they're 80, but you got to let it go until you're like 79. You know.
Be on your deathbed, be like, I was right 100 times during our relationship. I love you, bye. But nah, man. Like, just look, let it go. Just like Evie said, I should not have disrespected you, and that's I think that was a good thing. And then he even said, look, I think this is a bad idea. Like, it's just it's not looking good. Whatever's involved with these rings, I don't like it. But that was nice. That was nice, and I think that was a great growth moment and something that we can apply to our lives. So I think that's dope.
Yeah. I mean, it really was, because that walk away, the him taking off the gorget of office, and his dad is like, leave it. It ain't yours no more. And he's like, all right, I see you. All right, fine. I'm gone. Gonna be like that. Gonna be like that. I guess you ain't got a son. And I ain't got a father. And that's it. But then with them coming back together, it wasn't all is forgiven. I love you, dad. I love you, son. And again, let's be real. We are black men. All right. We got at least two uncles each that live with that kind of pride.
Yep.
You know, at least two, and I will say at least three aunties that live with that kind of pride. Don't believe me? Talk about somebody else's cobbler.
Man, there's always going to be an argument about who mom loved the most,
Uh-huh.
who did the most when they were kids, who wasn't allowed to get away with nothing. They still
Who
fight,
had it easy? Yeah.
still fighting. And the kids are like, or I guess teenagers now, but still kids. They're like looking like, y'all still fighting over that?
And they'll look at you
Now,
going, keep
you
living.
don't say nothing. You
You know,
don't say nothing, but you like, y'all still fighting over this? Like, y'all gotta let this go.
but
Like,
you
just
don't
for
say nothing.
for
I'm
your
not afraid of
own,
a busted lip. So,
like, for your own health, like, you gotta let this go. Like, you just be done with it. Let it go.
yeah, I fail to understand how this is so important. Because that pride be messing you up.
Okay. Don't get me wrong. I understand. Look, me and my brother could easily be those uncles. But I made a decision, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, regardless of how he acts. When I see him, I'ma hug him, tell him I love him, tell him I miss him. That I'm controlling me. I don't care what he do. I'ma control me. Cause I got a little boy that's excited to see him. So what, I'ma act funny? No. I'ma hug him, tell him I love him, tell him I'm happy to see him. That's all I need to do. Does the conversation really go any further? No. But I'm not walking around with no grudge. I ain't walking around angry. So I'm telling you guys, look, don't be those uncles. Just don't. Don't be those uncles. Don't do that. Happiness is a choice.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I ain't gonna lie. We differ
Better
on
help
that.
brought
Where
to you
I'm.
by Solar Gray.
Hey, you know what? Now we're getting into my channel's territory. Like,
Better
dude,
help brought to you by that. But that was cool.
But again,
man.
just to put that out there, though, that does not mean that you got to continuously give toxic people access.
Yeah, nah. Just
yeah.
because that doesn't mean let them all up in your house and all up in your space all the time. Just basically let that go and let them be with themselves.
So, it's a fine line, but it is a useful line,
Yes.
And so, yeah. So, I mean, quite honestly, the fact that we can talk about the relationships, and you get a little action, I get a little character development, like season 2. Yeah, season 2 is a lot closer to, I think, what most of us wanted in season 1. We do get some new characters, though. We got some new characters with Isildur and his new little baddie.
Oh boy. Yeah, you know what? Let me set the scene real quick before you get going. So Isildur, he's thank God he was saved from the crazy dangerous spiders, which I've said many times. Thank God that spiders aren't the size of, like, say, dogs. But 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 with that said, Isildur doesn't just happen upon, a broken down wagon with, like, a little kid or old man or old lady, or maybe just like a couple, like, horses that are just strapped to an empty wagon. No, of course he happens upon a fair maiden. Of course. Like, when I saw her face, I was like, oh, here we go. Of course.
So you got the fairy tale vibe, right?
Man, they locked eyes. I was like, oh, here we go. But we did get thrown a little curve. I was like, oh snap, she got the mark. Oh no.
But she's also trying to get rid of it.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, so she
It
done,
was
she
shown.
done left that narcotic alone. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it was
trying to turn her
shown,
life away.
like, I mean, it's get the mark, or it was very World War II.
Yeah. It was like, look, you can get the mark or you can die. So I get it. And even Arondir, to a certain degree, he was like, some people that, I think he said something like when people are hopeless or something like that. So
Uh-huh.
so he was like, okay, I'm not gonna kill you, but I got to put the cuffs on you because I don't know if I trust you yet. So so I get it, but he sort of had a little boo for a second. Especially when he had some dirt on her face. She was like, "Oh, you missed the spot." I was like, "Don't nobody wipe dirt off like that except a girl that's trying to holler. And no, man, don't get no dirt. Oh, you missed the spot. Oh, please." But of course, look, hey, you gotta let him do his thing. You know what I'm saying? He's a young man out there getting his soldier on. She out there. Well, actually, she betrothed, so she ain't supposed to be wiping off nobody dirt. But still,
And you know what? I gotta say, even though Elendil is a good man, um, we did kind of get that reaction that everybody gets, you know. It's like not even when I'm trying to get at you kind of thing, but it's like, oh,
yep.
you're looking for family members. Yeah, I'm looking for my betrothed. Oh. Well, you know what? That's cool. You know?
It's like, oh, well, good for you.
Yeah.
Now, it'd be funny if you, after that, she was like, my betrothed. He was like, well, good luck with that. But I'm glad that his horse found him. I'm glad he's alive. Unfortunately, his father doesn't know whether he's alive or not.
But
But
his father straight up thinks he's dead.
oh, because when the horse ran off, I assumed that he thought that there was still like a chance out there that his son might be alive. So okay, so that means that he thinks his son is just gone.
Yeah. The
So
horse wanted to be free.
so now, who knows how he makes it back? I assume
Yeah.
he's going to make it back, but I
Oh,
don't know.
he's absolutely going to make it back. I mean, he's the king of Gondor when he messes up with the ring.
Well, see, I thought he was supposed to be in Middle Earth or on, I guess, on the mainland or whatever when he fights against Sauron.
He
So
does.
I
And
didn't know
he's
if he
got to
got
get
back or
back.
not. Oh, so he
He's
goes
on the
back
main.
and then comes
He's on.
back.
Well, I got to double check because, yeah, you're right. They are in Numenor. But see, Numenor is Atlantis.
All right.
So,
Okay.
Isildur might just be getting the crown because, what was it? Designated survivor status.
Mm. Because yeah, we don't know how this whole thing with what is it Farazan
Mm-hmm.
is going to work out. So we don't know. Who knows? He might be dead by the end of this season. So who knows what that is concerned? And still, you still have his dad, who's
Yes.
Elendil. Yeah, sorry,
Arondir.
Arondir. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, we still have that going on. So we'll see how he plays out. Because I mean, of course, we know he ends up being a king, but we just don't super know how yet. Unless, I mean, of course, you read the books. I guess you probably know how. But for me, I don't know exactly how yet. So we'll see. Because Muriel's still there. She's still alive. She's just blind. And then you got all of the traitors. So she's kind of behind enemy lines now.
Kind of.
Those people that were fighting to get to her were not fighting to get to her to give her a hug.
That is true.
so, so I'm excited about Isildur's journey and what that brings. Same with Galadriel and everyone. This season has me pumped. Like, okay, cool. We're going places. We're doing things. Stakes are, stuff is getting set. Lines are getting drawn. Things are getting set up. I like this season a lot. I'm excited. I'm ready for what we got coming, and I've liked it. I even cheered when Arondir came through, did the cool flip through the, through the through the little wagon. I was like, yo, we are back. This is Lord of the Rings. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie. I am a little bit tired of Theo.
But I think they're about to change Theo, or at least put him on ice for a little bit. Because remember, he went off. He was like, "I got my own promise that I have to keep." So I think they're going to put him on ice for a little bit because yes, it is getting old. Even though, all right, I know his mom died, but his mom dying is not why I don't like him, and his grief over his mother is not why I don't like him. It's more of the like. I don't know. What do you not like it? Because I can't articulate. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know if it's insolence. I don't
His,
know what.
his entire character seems like it's written by someone who does not understand, nor do they like their teenage son. Because we got all the tropes from "you're not my real dad,"
Yeah, that was
to
messed up, man.
you
He
know,
wasn't even trying to be his dad.
to all right, I made a mistake and I'm gonna fix it myself, and I'm gonna do it in the dumbest way possible. You know, and
Poor
given
Theo.
the fact that there's better writing for teenagers and stuff out there, it's like the standards have been raised, y'all. Dead Boy Detective shows good teenagers. Evil shows great preteens.
Yeah.
So they need to stop with this whole "you're not my real dad, I'm just gonna be broody and edgy, I'm gonna be like a pizza cutter because I'm all edge and no point" kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, I was giving it time for him to evolve. And I'm just like, you know what? These writers should go to like parent counseling or something. They need a family counselor because, okay, you got an issue with your dad or with your son. Cool. Fine. Work it out. Take it off the page, please. Because it's not fitting the story.
And don't get me wrong, there are kids that act like him, but that isn't all they are. And
there you say it. Right there. Right there. That is exactly
nice
what the problem is.
Theo, I don't know. I don't know what Theo needs. He needs something more. But I think that's why they're putting him on ice. I think they're going to put him on ice for a little bit with the whole, like, I got to go back to my village and do whatever promise, and then maybe next time we'll see him, he'll have grown character-wise and, he'll be different. Because, yeah, the "you aren't my dad," I thought that was kind of messed up. Especially when, like, Arondir never sort of tried to be his dad or pretended to be, and was never disrespectful to him or his mother. He was only ever helpful to them. And I mean, I understand, the nearest person is the person that gets hurt and everything. I get that, because there's no one else really to dump on around you. But the whole "you're not my dad" thing is just like, it seemed kind of misplaced. So hopefully Theo grow up a little bit. And I mean, of course, he thanked him, thanked Arondir for coming back for him and everything. So
yeah, and needing some time after your mama dies, that's cool. But yeah.
So I'm hoping Theo comes back strong. Hope he comes back strong. But yeah, I'll end it on that. I hope Theo comes back stronger. I'll throw it to you. Hit me with some final thoughts, and where can people find you?
Final thoughts is season 2 is on a really good trajectory. It's on a really good trajectory. Now, part of me is thinking, you know what? These writers and producers may have something because, man, did they lower my expectations. And that might have been what they were trying the whole time. And if so, then well played. But yeah, they seem to have started to find their legs. And I talk all the time on your show about the Star Trek curse. Which is why I'm so patient with so many shows. You got to give it at least a season with Star Trek 3. So yeah, I'm really liking what I'm seeing, and I'm invested in the show again, and that's really good. And I gotta say, good timing too, because most of the other shows that I actually like watching have wrapped up for the year. And y'all can find me at twitch.tv/bid_p. If y'all like that real stuff we were talking about, that's what we do. And we do it in regards to games and storytelling and just trying to navigate this really odd and confusing world, especially for people of color, women, LGBTQ, the physically disabled, psychologically disabled, and of course the fiscally disenfranchised. Because If you ever been to a trailer park, you know they are walking distance from the hood.
Yeah, yeah. It's like just across the street.
You know. Yeah, Shaggy and Twelve got a lot in common, man. I'm just saying.
Oh boy. So I guess final thoughts. I'll say this. The first season, I was interested because I like Lord of the Rings in general, and there were things that I did like about season one, but it seemed that it was just moving so slow. The last two episodes, they really did pick up. I will give them that. And, but for 6 hours of content, that's kind of slow. That was tough to get through. But those last two episodes I felt were strong and we were actually moving forward. This seems to have from the gate opened up, but I guess maybe that's because we laid all the groundwork. We kind of got 6 hours of homework. So I guess the only thing I would say in general to Hollywood is I know that we have to eat our vegetables, but we got to figure out a better way.
Can we get some seasoning on them?
Yeah, because 6 hours of content because the last two episodes of the first season actually pick up and the pacing is good and we're moving along and there's things going on. But, 6 episodes, 6 whole hours where we're kind of not really moving is tough to get through. Even when you like the actors and actresses and all that, it's still kind of tough to get through. But here, now that we've kind of got all the foundation laid, I've been hooked since the first episode. Season 2 has been very strong for me. I'm happy, so I'm like, let's go. So with that said, of course, thank you for coming. God bless. Good night. And NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. Till the next time, this is from us to you saying thank you for watching, and of course, make sure to watch your back in the deep, darkest of woods. Peace.
Later, guys.